And let me just go here into YouTube and welcome. Ooh, wait a second. I think it's this camera that's dirty. There we go. That was Emerson's doing. He loves to play with my laptop, with my microphone, with all my equipment. And yeah, we have challenges sometimes. Welcome to Sound Bath Sundays. Today I have a lot to talk to you about, and this is what Emerson did with all my notes. So let me see if I can get myself together here. Do you ever have one of those days? Here it is. Do you have one side of your head that and then you usually start on the good side, and then time starts like ticking and you're like, okay, well, let me just hurry. And it gets to the point where you just say, fuck it. Well, that's what happened to me this morning. So if there's any kids listening, remember, I'm not rated PG or whatever it's called for all family members, because I have a mouth. So if you don't want your kids listening to my mouth, warning. Anyway, so my friend Felix Wasserman is going to be here next week doing a sound healing. He is an amazingly gifted handpan player and a myriad of other instruments that he's picked up along the way. I figured I'd ask him if he'd want to do something with me and do something for the people who so faithfully show up every week. And I figured I would give you guys a treat. And he said yes. So he's going to be here next week. And I could not be more thrilled. You're going to love him. Let's all take a collective breath. Breathe in. Hold for 1 or 2 counts, and then release with a big sigh. Let it all go. Let's do it again. And just ground myself, bring myself in here fully. Wow, what a week. I don't know if you guys are feeling it, but it's getting good. The energies are coming in. Things are getting dealt with. We're moving on. A lot of people are fed up of being inside. They're starting to come out cautiously, not so cautiously. There's a lot of dissent, a lot of division going on. And I decided that I'd like to broach this subject. So here's the thing. In order to know what comes next, right? Because we have all seems to have been put in a shaker or a blender and had, somebody pressing the button and going zzz, 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 and throwing us all over. And we've been experiencing things we've never experienced before. So in order to know what comes next, let's just take a moment and assess what happened. So whether it was a thing of nature, a human accident, or a part of a deeper plan, the fact is that there is a killer virus going around. The fact is that there are strains that some are more potent than others, and some people have gone asymptomatic and nothing's happened. Thank you for the hearts. I love the hearts. And some people have died. Some people have died because of this thing. Some people have died for having been given the wrong treatment. There's so many variables to this thing that are so difficult to even make a judgment about it, because the truth is we don't know. Everybody has their own vision of the reality, right? So no, this one doesn't make sense. Hold on, here. My flip-flop. Okay, so if I tell you this is a flip-flop and it's all black and it has a pattern and there's no color except black, And you'd be telling me, oh no, see, listen, it has some straps, and it has some pink and some lighter pink and some fuchsia and some blue and some white, and then it has the black, but then it has a little square. And I'd be like, no, there's no square. No. And I'd be giving you the point of view of this flip-flop from my perspective. And there's a bajillion perspectives because there's a bajillion people, right? Hi, Stacia. So every one of us has our own point of view of what happened, how it happened, why it happened, what to do about it, how to handle it. Some of us know better. We think we do. Some of us don't know anything. Some of us are stressing. Some of us are faring better. Some of us are having anxiety. Some of us have no money. Some of us are working more than ever. Some of us, hi, Christina Mystery, my fellow warrior, I love you. Some of us, there's so many variables in all of this. And for me or anyone to come and pass judgment on anybody else, I feel personally that it is unfair. I do know that I have been educating myself. I have been doing a heck of a ton of research. I'm trying to curb my language here a little bit. Of research and listening to many points of views. I've heard points of views that I'll hear the person speaking, and then I'll hear 10 people telling me, oh, that person is not ethical. They've done this, they've done that, they've done that. And I don't know where they got their information, if that's the whole truth, if this person is a scammer, taking advantage of the situation. I do know that in every crisis, there will be people that will take advantage. So relatively easily, the world complied to a seemingly endless lockdown, right? We all decided, okay, we have to go home and hide, not really knowing if that was the actual way to deal with it or not. Some people say it was, some people say it wasn't, some people say some people were too late, and because of it, there's more dead people. I don't think that we'll ever know the absolute truth, right? What I do know is that fear has reigned, uncertainty has reigned, and isolation has reigned. The worst things for a human to manage. So if you pay attention and know that the worst thing for a prisoner to experience is to be put in isolation. That is the worst kind of punishment. It's considered inhuman. And I've talked about this before previously a few times about this information I came across of how they pick the SEALs, the Navy SEALs. And what they do is they get them out in the very early hours of the morning in the dark and tell them to run. They don't tell them where, how long, what their mission is, nothing. They just say run. And people break. That's how they weed out the people who won't be able to make it. Because the uncertainty, we humans do not like uncertainty at all. So we go through life pretending that there is certainty when there really isn't. I was talking about when the lockdown first happened, I was like, well, weren't we living in uncertainty before? All the same. I mean, we could just walk out the street and somebody can just run us over, and that would be that. So I believe that uncertainty is always present, but we live pretending that it's not there so that we can have some semblance of safety, of stability, of security. Okay. Then a lot of division started happening, which frankly in this country has been brewing for some years, where there's color against color, ideology against ideology, religion against religion, politics against politics, just like the worst part of us coming out. And a lot of attacks that have also been fueled, a lot of them, for personal gain. And I find it not great. That's just my opinion, right? Now, through all of it, creativity and ingenuity have been activated to the most incredible levels. I've seen my fellow musician friends come out and do concerts with Jam Kazam, where everybody's playing at the same time. Concerts, house parties, new ways of connecting and having fun have sprouted to keep that human connection going, because we are gregarious beings, right? We love connection, whether we say or not. Some people like to be hermits, as long as we know that everybody else is out there connecting. In the business world, everything has been disrupted, right? Those who could figure out Zoom and other platforms to conduct business and keep moving forward. Forward, same thing, both one word. Keep moving forward. Some realizing even the obsolescence of their brick and mortar facilities, right? A new way of doing business where people were just as productive or more and even happier working from home in their pajamas. Lots of job losses, but also lots of increase in business for some. And guess what? Not enough workforce. Have you heard of that one? Not enough workforce. Why? Because unemployment. Did you know, I'm not sure everybody is aware, but at least in the US, people are getting more money to Netflix and chill at home from unemployment than they were getting from work, actually going to work and working and putting in an effort and earning a living. So there's a bunch of businesses that are doing great, but they don't have people who want to come and work, because why? Why would I want to go to work if I'm making a lot more money sitting at home eating bonbons? Not that great. So what does this all mean? Now, is there a covert plan to enslave us and put chips in us and force us to comply to doing things that we may not agree with? Or is this part of the great awakening where we tap into the power of love and recognize the unnecessary injustices and the fact that in this day and age, no one should go hungry or die of thirst, people? It's just ridiculous that these things are still happening. So I teeter-totter, going from excitement for the latter to being in abject fear of things like these government resolutions, these House resolutions like the HR 6666. If you don't know about it, go research it. And mandatory vaccines and brutal censorship. And the loss of our rights as American citizens, the land of the brave and the free, that beacon of light that for so long had been leading the globe, I feel that perhaps has lost its way. You know, I remember when it was okay to agree to disagree. Now, I'm not sure how many are considering the massive side effects to this lockdown. But in the recent months, I have been very, very aware of the amount of people suffering from mental illness, suffering from domestic abuse, men, women, and children alike, animals beyond, and the sheer loneliness that some people experience, and the inability to take care of themselves. I read a story about a woman in New York City who ran out of food and she was ill. She couldn't go out. and she spent 2 weeks without food. 2 weeks, an older lady who was ill. Until something happened and somebody figured it out, and now they're helping her, and now she has food and everything. Because if there's anything I have found in New York City, that it's filled with the most amazing, loving, kind, and generous people. I don't care what anybody says. I lived it and I know it. I lived through it. I lived there for 15 years. And when I was younger, New York has always had a place in my heart, and it's my home. So let me see, Yolanda. And either way, people can't go to work. That's a temporary. Yeah, businesses are getting money because of the COVID. Yep. And so when we get all this money, and some people get all this money and are earning more money, and then some of us freelancers who have a little work here and there, it's like, my God, we have to kind of figure it out. And the huge corporations getting the chunk of the money, and the little mom and pop businesses really struggling because they don't even know how to apply for these programs and all this. I mean, it's just crazy. If you go, every person is an individual story. Every person has an individual journey and a different path, right? So I am, as an empath, and I know many of you here are empaths as well. If you don't know what an empath is, it's a person that feels everything fully and feels everybody's feelings and emotions, and is continuously trying to help others. And so as an empath, I would normally take all this suffering in, and then would have to deal with the consequences of having absorbed all this energy, and dealing with how it would affect me, because it was just kind of out of control. I would just take it all in, and would like to just end people's suffering just by taking their suffering away. And that actually doesn't do anything. I had to learn that the hard way. But through some very, very powerful personal experiences that I lived through in the past few years, I've learned that we're all in a unique, individual, personal journey. We're all on our own little track. And the only way that I believe that things can change, that we can come out of this better, is by taking on personal responsibility. If we can't, and that's the first thing we must do. If each one of us took care of just us, then everybody would be taken care of, right? Now, I understand that there are some people that cannot take care of themselves. And I also understand that we are, as a people, as humanity, as communities, we are only as strong as our weakest link. So I think our first obligation, and that I think it is an obligation, is to take personal responsibility for ourselves. And then the second thing is, then if we can help, then go ahead and help in the ways that we can, by being the best people we can be, by offering and giving of our gifts, by being generous, by sharing. Just you will know when you connect to your inner genius what it is you're supposed to do. I'm not here to lecture anybody or tell anybody what they're supposed to do, because I don't know. I can only do what I feel is right for myself, for my family, and for as many people as I can, as I contribute in the way that I feel that is, my gift, and I'll bring it out and hope for the best, right? When we educate ourselves and we get informed, we are able to stop anything that will hurt, separate, or force us into, and our loved ones, into situations that we may later regret. I see things happening now. I read, and I hope, some of these things I read and I'm thinking, this has to be fake. I just cannot, like, in my head, I cannot have it fit in my head that there are corporations now hiring people for $65,000 a year to go snitch on fellow citizens about whether they had the virus, whether they didn't, whether they're doing this, whether if they're supposed to be on lockdown, if they go out, they're snitching, basically snitches. And I've heard about this happening in places like Cuba, where people, my friends, my musician friends who lived through this, told me they couldn't even trust their parents because they didn't know if their mom, their dad, their brother, their sister, their girlfriend, their boyfriend was one of the snitches. So they couldn't trust anyone. Can you imagine living in a world where you cannot trust anyone? Because if you do, it could mean your demise. Take that one in. Apparently there's people offering jobs for $65,000. Can you imagine someone who is desperate, who cannot feed their family, if they get offered a job of $65,000 to snitch on other people, but it means they can feed their family? Probably money they've never seen in their life together or in one lump sum. I'm tempted to feel that they would go for it. What does that say of us? What does that say of us as a human race? I believe that we should maybe ask people like the Cubans who have lived through this before, during, and after the revolution, or Italian people or German people, if they would have done something different when they had the chance and what they've learned from it. And what are we as people going to do about it? Are we going to sit here and just let them obligate us into stuff? I pray to God that this is not true, that this plan of chipping us and all that BS is not going to happen. But what are we going to do about it? I know I'm thinking about it, and I know I'm going to do my best to protect my family and my loved ones. And the only way we can do that is by getting informed, reading, listening to different points of views, and making your own mind up, whatever resonates with you, because we all know it's not in our brain. If your brain starts telling you stuff, don't believe your brain. But if your heart is telling you something, listen, because it will never lead you astray. Now, I believe that a way to handle situations that are tough like this is to strengthen ourselves. That's why I've been teaching these meditation sessions that have been off the charts, amazing. Everybody's experiencing results, but it's not the immediate results that I'm looking to have. It's the long-term results where we are getting strong. We're getting physically strong. We're getting mentally strong. We're getting emotionally strong and spiritually strong. And when we get those four things strong, we are able to make better decisions, to get clearer, to know when people are lying to us and tricking us. And we'll know, oh, that doesn't feel good. Step away from this situation or go head in. There's a bajillion people trying to make a buck right now because they see the opportunity. There's a lot of sharks out there. And there's also a ton of amazing, brilliant people who care so much. And when we get strong and we get clear, we are able to know the difference. Okay, so I invite you to be open-hearted. Open-minded, yeah, of course, we all have to be open-minded to get through this thing, because if we weren't open-minded, I don't know, some people got more close-minded, but some people got burst open. And the more we open our heart and the more we connect to that human gift that we have, that is not an emotion, but it's an actual power, and it's the power of love. And we begin to vibrate at the frequency of love. 15 years ago, I printed my actor business cards. And in the back of it, they said, "Are you vibrating at the frequency of love?" And it had that question on it. And people will get it and read this thing, and they look at me like, "WTF are you talking about?" And I'd be like, whatever. I would not pay any notice. I'm like, that was printed on my business cards. Are you vibrating at the frequency of love? And I've always believed that love is the power that will get us through any situation. And it doesn't mean we won't have to stand up for what we believe. It doesn't mean we have to be weak. The power of love is by no stretch of the imagination a weakness. It's actually our biggest superpower and our biggest strength. So as we connect to that power, as we connect to each other who are intricately connected, because remember, it's like getting a knife on your left hand and stabbing your right arm. When we hurt other people, when we do things like that, we're hurting the whole. We're hurting ourselves. And eventually all that will bounce right back at us. So when we just act from our humanity, from our love, we'll always do the right thing, what's best for the whole. Because it's also time for the me, myself, and I days they're gone. It's the we time, it's the community, it's the coming together and all rising together and all succeeding. Because remember, we're only as strong as our weakest link. So when we take care of our weakest link, we're all going to be better for it. Anyway, that's my speech for today. I'm also going to extend an invitation for my new masterclass that will take place, I think, next. My assistant is not here. I think it's the 29th. We'll be posting on Facebook and Instagram at Vocal Tapestry. If you're not following me there, please do. We'd love to have you. If you're not following me here on YouTube, I love it if you subscribe and press the little bell so you know when I'm going on. And anyway, I'm doing a masterclass called Resilient. And it's a free masterclass, and I'm going to talk about easy tools and processes that can help you cope with these uncertain times and be able to know what is the right thing and best for you and your loved ones. Like I said, it's a free masterclass. And if you know anything about me, you know I love leverage. I love hacks. I love getting things made simple and accomplishing a lot. Less effort for a lot of result. Because I used to be in the lot of effort and no result for many years, and it is not a happy place to be. So I decided that I was fed up of working so hard and getting no results, and I began to learn about the power of leverage and how I could apply it in my life. And now I can help others do the same. And it is so much more fun, let me tell you. A lot less work, a lot more fun, and a lot of results that are amazing. So it's called Resilient. Be on the lookout for it. It's going to take place Wednesday, I think it's this Wednesday, the 29th. If this Wednesday coming up is the 29th, that's when it is. Wednesday, the 29th at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Resilient. And you're gonna come out with tools that are gonna be like fast getting it done so you can overcome challenges that are going to get thrown your way, because believe me, there's going to be a cleanup after all of this. It's not going to be like going back to same old, same old. Things have been, I believe, and a lot of people do too, have been disrupted to a new level, and there's no way to go back to what it was. There's just not. I don't think it's possible. But, well, let me think. I think it would be possible if we all agreed to it, but I think that so many people are now in agreement that things have got to change, that we're going to make it happen. And there's so many amazing people working for this up-leveling of humanity. And I believe that it is part of this great awakening that is taking place. So I also know that what we focus on expands. And if we keep focusing on all the garbage, we're just going to see more garbage and get more garbage. So with these tools, we are able to like take our focus off what we don't like and then put it on what we would like, our vision of the world, how we would like it to be, our vision of our lives, how we would like them to be, and our ability to get through challenges with a lot less resistance and a lot more ease. So I hope you will love to come to my party on Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will place the links when these go up. I will make sure to place links in the comments so you can find them. And anyway, that's it. Let me go get Harry, because for some reason I left them over there. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, you're too far away, so I have to unmic myself. Go get Harry, and I'll be right back. Hold on. There he is. Harry boy. Oh. Some days I wonder, well, thank God he's steel. Because, hold on. Okay. Well, what I'm going to do right now is I am going to leave the mic coming this way, and then I'll mic myself up again. Hopefully you guys all on Facebook can hear fine. If this is the first time you're here, welcome. And we usually do this sound healing, sound bath, sitting on a chair so we can put our feet flat on the floor, make contact with the floor, we can ground ourselves. Then we wiggle our toes, place our palms facing up on our thighs. And we take a few cleansing breaths, which is inhaling through the nose, holding 1 or 2 counts, whatever feels organic and natural to you. And then exhale with a big sigh, with a big and feel how good that feels in our bodies. And we close our eyes, and that's it. That's all you gotta do. So go ahead, do 1, 2, 3, 6, 9 cleansing breaths, whatever you need to just let go of everything that's happened in your week up to now. Just everything, the good, the bad, the regular, and just make a choice to be present right here for you and receive this cosmic nervous system massage. Today, we're just using Harry, who's tuned to the 528 hertz frequency. He's tuned to 432. He's in the key of D. So he plays the frequencies of love and miracles and magic. So here we go. I need what I want. Whenever you're ready, take a deep cleansing breath. Enjoy the beautiful energy that you have co-created this morning with me. When you're ready, go ahead and wiggle your toes. Do a stretch. Do a little shake if you feel like it. Open your eyes if you haven't already, and welcome back. Malis, hola. Gil, thank you for being here. Hi, love. Let me see. Erika, Deb, thank you. Mari, hola. Te veo al rato. Don, hi. Welcome. Hi, Jenny. Yola, yes. Christina, everybody for being here. Thank you. Everybody here on YouTube, thank you so much for being here. I love you. Remember, this week, masterclass on, it's called Resilient. I promise you'll get tools out of that will serve you. And we're going to have fun as well, because that is so important, fun and celebration. And next week on Sound Bath Sundays, the amazingly talented Felix Wasserman will be here. He will not disappoint. I'm telling you, you're going to be clamoring for him to come back. He is amazing. And anyway, here sharing with you, loving being here with you. And I will see you next week. And right here on YouTube. Bye, people on YouTube. I love you.